like it. Do the dance.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma Team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
You know, I keep on forgetting. We need to add the Stan Lee Excelsior to that.
Yeah, we do.
I know. So you're watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We are back. We've been living in convention world. Jar Jar just got back from an awesome con.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I screwed up completely trying to share our thing tonight. Like for some reason, the Facebook page didn't have the option to share it. I could give money for some reason, but I couldn't share it. So
yeah,
I had to go to your page to friggin' share it and stuff. So like I'm all discombobulated already.
No worries, no worries. Velvet Joker.
Good evening, good evening. It's me, Rich Davis, aka Velvet J, aka the Throwback King. Well, now we're missing our buddy Drew tonight, but he has a private family thing that he has to deal with. We're going to miss him, but we're still going to have a great show. We're going to bring you the best of comic news, and at the same time, we've got some great guests tonight.
Thank you, Robert.
A woman that is truly legendary, and a man that's putting out a fantastic story that we're going to tell you about soon. But they're going to be joining us about an hour, so to be continued.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Until then, we're going to talk about some comic book stuff.
Yes, indeed.
We got D23, I hear, too. You guys got an overload of stuff going on there.
Holy shit. Well, that and, DC, we got the new
Black
Adam.
Cavill, though. No Henry Cavill.
It could have gone totally different because there was a big leak like right before D23 saying that they're going to release, they're going to announce Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck have joined the Marvel Universe, but it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
But rumor today, I was reading today that
Reddit on the Reddit.
Always Reddit, you know.
Now, Leo,
I should join that. Maybe I might get some more info.
Now, Leo, you being the Reddit king now, so for now, have we all watched the most recent She-Hulk here in the room at the moment?
I have not, but that's okay. No, dude, I watch it with my kids.
Okay, well this will not ruin anything for you.
But I know about the weird lady being shown on it. I don't care.
Yes, the weird lady being Madison.
Madison, yeah.
Yeah, I call
with
her...
With an N or with the Y? I don't know.
With a Y,
but not in the place that you were think it was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what the hell that means at all.
I think she's the most charming drunk since Jack Sparrow.
Oh, nice.
So... I was watching a deep dive into that episode, and they're all about Mephisto confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh,
is Jake Mephisto? That's what I was going to ask you, Leo. What is Reddit saying? Are they all aflutter?
Well, on the video I watched, it was because the goat had the Jake name tag.
Yeah.
And and she came out with the heart and.
And why does Jake equal Mephisto then?
I don't know why.
I thought you went down the Reddit rabbit hole. What happened?
I've been running.
I've been blah blah blah.
Hey, somebody had to run Jar Jar's panels this weekend.
Yeah, right. Ben was taking all the credit, but it was really Doug from inside the box.
Yeah, they when I had them hook up everything, we pumped me through the PA system. So that I could talk. Yeah, I could talk to everybody.
You were truly the Professor X of the con, Leo.
He's like my Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. I love it.
Nice.
It was
Listen, Jar Jar, you're giving a lot of love away to everyone else lately. I'm starting to get a little jealous.
I'm sorry, Rich. I haven't played.
I was nice to Steve Van Samson. You almost punched me in the face. Jesus Christ.
Why? I didn't.
Who did a really great job, by the way, in Leo's stead last week.
He did. He just, I like Leo. I'm sorry. Leo's my love.
Hey, we're
it's a little bit. It's okay.
We're all family here.
I know.
Should be getting.
We're just having fun. We're just having fun.
A ton of hits on the website for podcasts.
Nice.
That's new. It's 20 milligrams, so I only gave you one.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way.
So, Leo, what's on the agenda with D23? Tell us what you know.
Yeah. So obviously the big reveal, Werewolf by Night, we're getting next month.
Is that real?
That's real.
It's a really fun, interesting trailer. They really went a different way, Jeremy.
See, I don't know what to. No, I actually did watch that trailer.
Okay.
I don't know what to think about it. It's a little, it's like a what's that? One of those like new mystery movies that have been out that people are getting all funky about. It's, there are all these hunters in the room, and one of them is the werewolf, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, I see where you're going, Disney.
It's kind of like
is Moon Knight gonna be in it? Because
60s movie style. Who knows?
Mark Spector should be there. No,
there's definitely a connection. Well, which Jeremy, which one launched which? Was Werewolf by Night in Moon Knight, or was Moon Knight in Werewolf?
Reverse. Moon Knight was in Werewolf by that one.
Right,
Werewolf by Night.
Because in the Disney Moon Knight show, I remember in the first episode they had some kind of thing that you could scan that would bring you to the Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
So they're obviously aware of the connection.
Yeah, in that he was hired by so-and-so to hunt the werewolf. And, God, why can't I remember those names? But he finds out that the werewolf's good and, well, not good, but, a tortured soul.
So I was reading up on this, and apparently Wikipedia is saying that the Werewolf by Night for Marvel is going to be the Jack Russell story.
Which is hilarious that his name is Jack Russell, because that's the name of a dog.
Yeah. And according to the,
I just caught that.
according
I
to
told
the,
it to Harley the other night, and she started cracking up. She goes, "His name is Jack Russell, like the dog." She goes, "That's hilarious."
That is. That was a good play on words.
I'm sorry, Leo. I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you saying?
No worries, no worries. So I read that it's listed as a comedy.
Okay.
Really? The Werewolf by Night?
Yeah.
Really?
All right. Like a horror.
I thought it was going to be a horror because, well, yeah, I guess a horror-medy.
Yeah.
Did I just coin that? Horror-medy? Huh.
You might.
But according to the Wikipedia, the Jack Russell story that includes the Darkhold, where he made a copy of the Darkhold. Is that correct with what you've read?
I don't remember that at all.
My brain. I only retained so much.
So here's what Wikipedia says. The manifestation of Grigory Russoff in 1795, Dracula slew Grigory's wife, Louisa, after he refused to acknowledge Dracula's primacy upon the return to Transylvania.
Is
Grigory,
that from Dracula?
This is from this is the Jack Russell story from Werewolf by Night. Let's see. It's Marvel Tales 116 from 1953.
Marvel Tales 116. Okay. Well, it looks like we'll have to read that.
The Jack Russell version of Werewolf by Night first appeared in Marvel Spotlight from 1972. Based on an idea by Roy Thomas. Series name suggested by Stan
Roy.
Lee.
Hate his manager.
The initial creative team was Jerry Conway and Mike Klug, who worked with the plot by Roy and Jenny Thomas for the first issue.
I think I just ruined any chance of talking to Roy. Oops.
Was there really a chance?
Probably not, but
no.
Maybe because I do know the manager and I've never outwardly told him straight to his face that I disliked him. So there could have been a chance.
He bought my comics when I was going through my divorce.
Yeah?
Yeah. He did not give me a great price.
I probably would not imagine so. He's a car salesman. Like through and through. That dude is the shystiest, like.
All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So Secret Invasion.
Yes, that trailer looked fun as well. We have Nick Fury with the Skrull Invasion storyline.
Oh, yeah? So are the Skrulls going to be bad in this? Or are they just invading?
Some will be good and some will be bad.
So are we going to find out that half of the heroes are actually Skrulls?
We don't know yet, but from what I've read, there was a additional scene shown at D23.
Maybe Black Widow was a Skrull.
Ooh.
Or Gamora.
And she's actually in a coma somewhere being held. Or Gamora. Let's retcon the whole universe. I know what you're doing, Marvel. I know.
So there was an extra scene shown at D23 that has not been released yet. The details were showing that Rambo was outside the space station.
Oh, Monica Rambeau.
I
thought I was like, what? Sly Stallone's in this? What's going on? Did they have Rambo in the comics in Marvel?
Captain Marvel Flash Photon.
Was it Rambo versus Punisher? Yeah. No.
Did that happen? I don't know. I don't think so. It's probably a good.
So where is Monica Rambeau, Leo?
I'm sorry.
So Monica Rambeau, and spoiler, but this is what was shown at D23. Monica is outside the space station, I guess, or the spaceship, working on something. And Nick Fury is inside, and all of a sudden Monica disappears, and inside the spacesuit appears Miss Marvel.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan, yeah. So
little warping.
Yeah.
Isn't that her? Is that her power?
No.
No, she's
No.
stretchy, isn't she? Like in the comics.
She's stretchy, but those three switch locations.
Right, because at the did you see the
Yeah,
the
Miss
whole
Marvel?
series, Jeremy? At the end, she switched places with Ms. Marvel.
I got
the blonde Brie Larson.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Brie Larson is in the room full of posters.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
Yeah. There was no trailer, but also announced was
on the
Armor
Brie
Wars.
Larson. On the Brie Larson front. Did you guys catch her comment? That fans seem to be rallying towards her. I can't say it off the top of my head, but something to the effect somebody had asked her if she was coming back, and she was just like, do you guys want me back? You know, kind of in a, kind of like, there's been so much hate for her. Mm-hmm. Like, why would she want to do it anymore? And I feel her on that. Those people are fucking relentless.
Well, she's already doing the Marvels, so she's already slated to do it for another few years. So,
but I'm just saying on her comment, I know she's going to be doing it more of it, but like, I just the hate from the heathens out there. It's just so much.
Always
so much. I mean, the lady has won Oscars and stuff. Like, she's no slouch.
Well, just the, I don't know, just the idiots that pour this hate, just do they fear women or something like that? I mean, it's just, it's like the same people saying like, why do you have to make Hulk a girl? It's like, what the fuck? She-Hulk has been around since the.
It was because
70s,
Stan Lee was afraid that the TV people were going to make one, and he was getting out ahead of it. He was like, I ain't going to let them take my money. Let me tell you, Marvelites.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, like, I really don't understand the hate at all for She-Hulk. I haven't watched the newest episode, but like, it's been so much fun. Even Miss Marvel was like wicked refreshing, like the whole different style of direction and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, you want to say to those people? I mean, Steve said it last week, but do you guys have wives? Do you have girlfriends? Do you have daughters? Do you have mothers? Do you disrespect them? I mean, I don't understand.
Good Lord, like,
do they have to be lower on some kind of mental scale? I mean, does it really matter? Nothing matters.
I mean, a lot of these guys are like, oh, why is She-Hulk gotta be, better than learn fat? I'm like, why can't she? Like, it makes sense. Women mature at a much faster rate than men. Like, they learn. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
And their brains work totally different. Like, we joke about it all the time. My wife will. I admit my wife is way smarter than me, and just like
they usually are. That's what attracts us to them.
Totally, and we say, oh, it's girl brain because it's superior. It's just she can figure things like things that were obvious to her. It's like I didn't even consider. So it's like I overcomplicate things.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next stuff.
Okay, so
I held that up too long.
No worries. So She-Hulk, actually, there was a spoiler in the pre-release version. The titles. So She-Hulk, she has she goes out on dates, and she ends up on a really weird date. The guy is like asking like, can anything pierce your skin and stuff like that. And in the credits, he's listed as Hulk Todd. But in the final version, it was just Todd. So some people are saying that he could be, is it Madman?
Madman, yeah. He's the leader's brother. Because the leader was Sam Stearns and Madman was Phil Stearns. And he was interested. I guess he was around in the days when Bruce first got the government contract to work on gamma rays, and he was jealous, and eventually made himself into
Yeah.
Madman.
Well, and they did announce that he's coming back.
Yes, the leader is expected to be in Captain America 4. Supposedly the same actor that was in the Hulk movie that played Sam Stearns. I do not know that actor's name, unfortunately.
I saw a photo earlier today, but yeah, I also don't know the name of the actor.
But that's great news to see the leader. I was hoping to see him possibly at the end of She-Hulk or somewhere in that series, but I'll take him in Captain America. Maybe they're going to do a Cabal or an Intelligentsia possibly storyline.
We're getting Wolverine from She-Hulk. I'm telling you, there was already a little teaser in it, and I think that's where they're going.
Feeling it?
Yep, I feel it.
How big would that be? That would be insane.
Fucking shock everybody. It would be
well.
Perfect.
They haven't announced who the actor's going to be, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
Right. They haven't even announced anybody for Fantastic Four yet, except the director.
Okay.
So that was also at D23. So Captain America: New World Order, Armor Wars was announced as well. Don Cheadle's coming back for that. And Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody care?
Yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm not really excited about that one so much. I mean, look, I know you didn't go see the Yelena Belova movie,
Black Widow.
Yeah, the Black Widow movie. You didn't see that, but she was a good character. Yelena was a good character.
She also came back in Hawkeye.
Right.
Did she?
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Black
did.
Widow was in Hawkeye?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Huh, missed that. Oh, I only watched probably the first 3 episodes so far. I kind of fell off. I wanted to watch it because it seems like a cool Christmas show. But, yeah, I missed it.
Oh, D23 kicked off with the Marvel Hall. Kicked off with...
Rogers the Musical.
Rogers the Musical, yes.
They did a thing from Rogers the Musical, apparently.
Yep.
Very cool.
So it's just a matter of time that we see that on Broadway.
Yeah. So Thunderbolts, so far they've announced it's going to be Bucky Barnes, John Walker, Taskmaster, and Red Guardian, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Quantumania was also announced as
I'm
well.
also not a fan of Ant-Man. I really disliked the first movie. I think it set the tone for the second movie for me too. So
yeah, well, I totally disagree with you. I love it. It's a great family type style movie. I like his stupid quirkiness.
Oh, I like Paul Rudd a lot, but that's why I'm kind of confused why I hated Ant-Man so much.
Yeah, I don't know either. I thought both movies were fun. I mean, they weren't 100%, but they were decent and certainly entertaining.
Well, in the third one, we're getting Kang and MODOK.
Yeah. MODOK.
Oh, MODOK?
MODOK.
But all right.
We don't know which version. We don't know which version.
Yeah. I want to see what MODOK looks like. Then I have to see it because I like MODOK. I think that's
a image released today. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Oh, did it? A real one?
Yes. Really? Well, it was leaked. Let me see.
Maybe like they'll do both, and like one will be like his, I don't know, some kind of robot for him. So he doesn't get hurt, like a decoy of sorts. Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, that's an early. We were hoping that is not it. That's one of the other.
Well, it looks like it's armor, so that maybe he's gonna fall off of him, and we'll get
a Krang face underneath.
No, Shredder.
As long as he's voiced by who did the cartoon.
I have no idea. Probably like what's his name there? The guy who did Skeletor back in the day and stuff.
No. It's he was just in Sandman.
In Sandman?
Yeah, Patton Oswalt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He did the voice of who?
He did the
Krang?
voice of Krang?
No. Sandman. He did the voice of
the Crow in Sandman.
The Crow in Sandman.
Oh.
But he did the voice of MODOK in the cartoon.
Oh, in the Hulu cartoon, right.
I thought you were talking about Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, what? It's a.
I didn't remember that.
No, did he just use his voice though? For MODOK, yeah.
Yep.
I'm sick of him doing that. Don't get me wrong; it's cute and funny and all, but like.
But there are a lot of voiceover actors that just kind of use one voice or two voices. I know.
Yeah, one or two voices is good, but when you're just using your voice all the time, he's taking a voiceover actor's job.
I understand.
Patton Oswalt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he really just plays Patton Oswalt and everything. Like, it's the same character over and over. The lovable, goofy little whatever. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hate on the guy. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm in a bad mood tonight.
Yeah, you're kind of negative.
Damn. I'm a down.
Take a little tincture. Take a little drop.
Yeah, maybe I should.
There's still a bunch to go over, but we'll do it quickly because I know we need to go over our books, and also we haven't even touched on DC. So we talked about the Marvels, Ironheart, Echo was also some footage was released on that. Daredevil Born Again as well.
That I'm kind of excited for.
Loki season 2.
I like that. I'm all about that.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's supposed to be in Loki season 2. I thought that was announced.
Is it?
Or was that a maybe?
I think that was a maybe. Yeah, because it's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Kingpin.
Is going to be in Loki season 2?
I'm so
no, Daredevil Born Again.
Gotcha. All right, we're jumping around.
Okay.
Just being clear.
The ADD is real.
So
did you watch the Black Adam trailer, the new one?
Yes.
No, I didn't know there was a new
Black
one.
Adam. Yeah, I did. Hold on. I'm all sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's The Rock. He's got a big lightning bolt on his chest.
No, it was good.
Dressed in black.
The new trailer is actually really good. It looks very dark. They're like trying to get The Rock there to be a good guy and stuff. Yeah. Pierce Brosnan and his wonderful
Dr.
Hour
Fate.
Man.
Dr. Fate.
Oh, Dr. Fate. Yeah, Hour Man.
Yeah. Yeah, he says, what does he say? The fates aren't wrong. And you can either be this world's destructor or this world's savior.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the world's savior.
What planet are they on though? Is that Earth? Because that doesn't and we're before
Timeline.
Superman?
Yeah, that we don't know. We don't know what the timeline is.
Like, are we before Shazam?
In the first trailer, they had guns, so it's got to be in somewhat modern times.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused where we are, what's going on, what connection to what part of the DC universe. I know the DCEU is all whatever, but like there's still like I don't know. They
just pretend it's not connected. This is the first connector. Supposedly, that's what they're saying. Like this is supposed to be the launching of the new DCEU. So this is the new connection.
I thought Shazam was the new launching.
I don't know.
I'm so.
No, it's supposed to be the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock universe, cinematic universe. No, that's what he said.
Of course he did. The Rock's fucking really full of himself. And don't get me wrong, the guy's funny as hell. I like him a lot. I think he's really great. But like, even DC at times is just like, hold on, Rock, you're saying a little bit much there.
Well, we know. So the new trailer, we know it's the Justice Society. And who's that devil character? Is
Blue
that
Demon?
Mephisto?
Would Entrigan or Blue Demon?
In the trailer.
I didn't see the. Oh, are you talking about? It looked like it was actually what's his name? Darkseid's boy there. Why can't I?
Calabac?
Huh?
Calabac?
No, from Man of Steel they used, or not? Was it Man of Steel? Dawn of Justice? I don't know. What the Darkseid's son is it?
Orion?
No, it's not his son. It's one of his generals. Comes out in New Gods #7. His Steppenwolf. He looked kind of like Steppenwolf from.
No.
I think so. The big thing you were talking about, right? The real big, like
he was
horns?
red with horns. He looked like Satan.
The big one, right? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But I think
go back and watch it.
big one with big red one with horns. See, only in DC I know is Surtur.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's the Thor one. Raven's dad. Trigon.
Oh, Trigon.
Trigon. I apologize. I was DC Marvel and switching.
Yeah, worries. That was actually something else announced. Titans season 4 in November, coming in November.
Is that going to be the final season? Are they killing the TV series? Yeah.
They didn't say.
No, I've watched this whole series. It's okay. It's a step above CW. The loss of Hawk and Dove was tough, but we'll see if how they proceed with this season. You know, some good, some bad. It's not 100%, but I still have found it to be entertaining. You know, I still love seeing all these characters on TV and in the movies. I almost can't get enough. If you give me a good storyline, I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, speaking of storyline, DCEU actually kicks off today. Flash #1, the tie-in to the movie, came out today. And Batman and who else? Batman gives the Flash his new suit.
Oh, the new Flash trailer?
In the tie-in?
In the tie-in comic that got released today.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. So is the Flash going to be part of the new DC, or is this just a standalone movie coming out with the Flash, and that's just it? I know they're probably not going to use him anymore, but
then it's a one and done.
But could it possibly be he's Barry Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So could there possibly be a connected to a I don't know, a Garrick or any of the other ones?
Well, supposedly, everyone is guest starring in this. Supposedly,
that's what they all said, and I hope that is not a lie. But God, it just doesn't sound possible. It's almost like a fan made it.
So here's what I predict. I predict that by the time the movie comes out, he's been in talks with WB. And I think he's been seeking help. Enough time would have passed. Maybe he goes in rehab or something like that, and then they try to brush it underneath the rug.
Yeah, he's got to keep his nose clean. If he doesn't keep his nose clean, it's over.
Yeah, if there's one more thing comes out,
I mean, it's kind of over now. And
if he kidnaps one more person,
yeah, just one more kidnapping. What? I mean, look at Mel Gibson. He's back in the limelight. That dude can talk bad about Jewish people and everything, and there's no. Who cares? He's drunk.
He's been fighting his way back though. He's been doing so many friggin' indie movies.
Yeah,
he can't win me back. Sorry,
yeah,
too late.
He's never once said apologize.
Horrible things to his girlfriend and his wife.
Really bad things to his ex there. That why don't you just smile and blow me? I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's not afraid to use the N-word either.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry for everybody. Yeah. I've not watched anything else with him in it.
All his comments about the Jews in Hollywood. I'm not interested.
I got rid of him.
Sorry, Mel. Can't win me back. And I really love your movies in my youth.
Me too. Braveheart, the Braveheart was the best thing in the world.
Lethal Weapon movies. Yeah. Enjoyed all that stuff, but
I will never
can't watch it anymore.
He even did that. I wanted to watch that freaking Webster's Dictionary movie, and god damn it, he's in it, so I can't.
He did a Santa movie.
He did?
Yeah, it was supposed to be pretty good, but
yeah. It's
I like my Santas coked up.
No. This was pretty fucked up. It was this kid didn't get what he wanted for Christmas. This rich kid, so he hires a hitman to take out Santa.
Nice.
And Mel Gibson's playing Santa, so it's a hitman trying to take him out. So it's it's pretty fucked up.
Jeremy, speaking of the Santa you just mentioned, that Tim the Tool Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on D23. There's a trailer. He's got another movie, and the premise is that Santa is going to retire after this Christmas. Oh, so he's looking for a replacement.
Oh, okay. Why doesn't his kid replace him? The girl. It's going to be a girl Santa. We're going to get the crazy hate now.
Stop being woke. Yo, hey, Dale, what's up? Yo.
Or he had a daughter, right? I don't even remember. Maybe it was a son in the movies.
I watched the first one or two of those movies.
There was only 3. Yeah. I don't know. Santa Claus, the movie. Santa Claus, the Santa Claus. And I forget what the third one was. Jack Frost or something. What's his name was in it? The little guy from Murders in the Building.
Oh, yeah.
Martin Short.
Didn't they make like a fourth without him or something like that?
Did they? Well, that's probably why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, maybe. The last item today, it's rumored that Hush is going to be in Batman.
Yeah. I heard they're doing a sequel to it. Hush.
No. That
Wait, Hush is going to be in what, Leo?
No.
The Batman 2.
Hold on.
The Pattinson thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they was getting a second movie. I thought that might have been a one and done too.
But also, there is going to be Hush Part 2, the storyline.
So then the question
Jim Lee and them.
But wait a second. It's going to be Hush Part 2. Shh.
Now, does that mean Pattinson is in the he's in the Black Adam universe?
They haven't announced that. They may keep it just separate.
Okay.
Maybe that's a young Batman storyline.
Maybe that's the way to go. Just make everything its own separate universe and separate stories, and let nothing be connected.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they can't follow the Marvel formula, and when they even slightly attempt it, people bitch about it.
Yep. Well, time will tell. I know we have books to cover, but just wanted to say, if you're going to be picking up comics this week, Batman versus Robin #1 came out this week, along with the Flash tie-in. Alfred is back.
What?
Yep.
Who?
Alfred is back.
Let's guess. The Pit.
Don't know.
Lazarus Pit.
No, I read the issue already, and they don't say.
They don't explain it? He just exists there?
He just explains it, and the whole storyline's about magic.
Magic?
And yeah, it's...
And he's just there?
Bruce is in the Wayne Manor to get his keys or something like that. There's a knock at the door, and it's Alfred. And he's trying to... He's trying to warn Bruce about Bane has Damian and all this danger, and it's everything happened right when he died. So
oh no, it's Clayface, it's a clone.
So they cover that.
Okay.
Bruce is thinking, could it be Clayface? Could it be blah blah blah? And then he says, then there's a page going, we spend so much time going over things only Alfred would know. Like he knows how to set the clock. He knows how to open the door. And so it's supposedly it's Alfred. So
now, Leo, I don't remember. We read one that one of the storylines where after Alfred dies and he leaves Bruce like this letter that he finds afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
Since you read this, no connection to that though, right?
No. Nope.
Interesting.
No, that was just a letter that was a totally different storyline.
No, I know it was a different storyline, but I just wanted to know because that's supposed to be after Alfred was dead.
Yeah.
That he found that Bruce found that letter. So since now Alfred is back, I was just wondering if they made any connection or reference to that letter.
No, it's only one issue so far, and just the dialogue was just Bruce trying to confirm that it was Alfred, and then it goes into Damian fighting Batman with two friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so what book do we want to cover first? Do we want to cover the Mad Love or Batman Annual or Batman 44?
Let's go with Batman Annual.
Batman Annual. Okay. And this is the one jar.
Since we were having guests coming in at 9:00, guys, we decided to do 3 one-shots. Composed Batman stories in one story.
Look at that beautiful. Hold on, you skipped over the Neil Adams cover, Leo. Look at that. Good old Neil.
Batman Annual number 14, In the Eye of the Beholder. Circa what year, Mr. Leo? Our Charles Xavier.
What was happening back in 1986?
Our man in the chair, as they say in Spider-Man.
1990.
Actually, oh, it is 90. Yeah, it's the beginning of the
1990.
downfall. It's the beginning of the 90s, folks. Comic books, how they survived, we don't know.
Yeah, I know. I bought this issue, so it definitely had to be part of the downfall. You know,
I bought it.
Yeah, so this came out July of 1990, and the writer was Andrew Helfer, and penciler was Chris Sprouse. Inker was Steve Mitchell, colorist was Adrian Roy, and letters was John Costanza. And the editor at the time.
You can notice, actually, they don't credit Bill Finger in this.
Really?
They do not. The very first page, only Bob Kane.
Yeah. Batman created by Bob Kane, yeah, and Denny O'Neil was the editor at the time.
Yep.
So this was another retelling. Was this the first retelling of Two-Face, or was this
We'd need Drew here to tell us that kind of info, I think. Like, if any of you can channel Drew right now.
We do not have our encyclopedia, Drew, tonight.
Yeah.
But Jar Jar, what year did DC acknowledge Bill Finger?
Not until 2015.
Okay,
actually,
so
was Bill Finger actually?
Yep.
The first thing he was acknowledged on was season 2 of Gotham, and then was it Dawn of Justice? I think the movie.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and yeah. Not until 2015. Now everything has his name on it that comes out, but yeah.
Awesome.
2015. That's a crazy long time to not have your name on something you created.
Ooh, okay. So this story served as the first retelling of Two-Face's origin in the post-crisis continuity.
Oh.
However, most of the events have been overwritten by the limited series Batman: The Long Halloween.
That's probably why I picked it up. I normally didn't pick up annuals in being a retelling of Two-Face's origin after Crisis. Makes sense.
It says this story also refers to Harvey Dent's wife as Gilda and Grace simultaneously.
Oh. I didn't pick up on that.
No.
Yeah, so this is basically a retelling of the Harvey Dent getting the acid in his face, and there's kind of a pre-story where he's the DA and they're chasing down this other serial killer, and the serial killer gets off, and he says that Batman was attacking him, and he doesn't know why, and this is all crazy, and but the serial killer in turn tells Harvey that he is the serial killer after the case with nobody around, and that he sees something in Harvey, and Harvey needs to let go and be the man that he's meant to be. And of course, we all know through history what happens. Marconi throws the acid in his face. He becomes Two-Face. And, it's a tragic story.
It really is. He was on the road to fame and everything as
possibly
the DA.
Politics and
Top of the world, really baby. Great
Top of the
art.
World.
I have to say, I don't really know much of Chris Sprouse's work before or at all. This is really good. I like it. It's like the coloring and everything. They did well.
Yeah, this was definitely a good read. It says this story has been reprinted in Batman featuring Two-Face and the Riddler, Two-Face: A Celebration of 75 Years, which reuses Neil Adams cover art, and also Batman: The Caped Crusader Volume 3.
Right. And this was a great page, in this particular story, his face actually gets repaired. They do plastic surgery. Leo, go back one. And he ends up ripping the plastic surgery off his face that he's so
yeah.
And he says, I have no choice. So he's Two-Face forever.
Yeah. So in the other books, in the other stories that we've read previously with Two-Face, this goes into more detail, unless I'm mistaken, as of like how he gets the coin. The coin is a gift from his father.
From his father, yeah.
And his father used to play games with him and always win.
Right. And the games were basically beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also goes more into the story of the serial killer, sort of like not giving him the idea of his double identity, but it seems like that was really what pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, I don't think that was told in the first telling at all. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was the court case. Bruce and I forget Two-Face's real name right now, but him and Harvey and Bruce's relationship, how they had gone to college and stuff, and all that stuff, I think was more focused on than the other stuff. I think more Marconi crime stuff. Yeah, I don't recall any of the serial killer in it.
Yeah,
so do we want to rate them all at the end, or we want to rate them now?
Well, we could possibly do them one at a time, I guess.
Okay.
I would give this art and story-wise, I would say we're at probably like a 4 4.25. What are we giving them? Crowbars?
We might as well just crowbar right
signals.
Let's crowbar right there.
Okay, so 4.25. I like this art and story, especially adding more with the serial killer and stuff. Yes.
4.25.
No. What's that, Leo?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to give it a straight 3.85. 3.85. I was not as much enthralled with the art as Jeremy was. I like some of this stuff, but I think I've become more accustomed to some of the newer art. And
is that a good hit, Leo?
This just isn't doing it for me as much. But I did enjoy the storyline. I like the fleshed out of Harvey, but Harvey. We've been Harveying for 30 years now. So 3.85.
Tommy Lee Jones, did they do the whole thing with where he got the plastic surgery and ripped it off? Am I
No.
remembering something else?
I think you're remembering something else.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they did it in one of the animated movies.
Oh, maybe.
We'll have to go back and watch.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
What about you, Leo? Where are you rating old Harvey Dent here today?
I was gonna go with a 3.75.
Okay.
So
unusually, you went with the lowest rating.
I did. I mean, I have this issue myself as well, but it's the story was good. It's just the artwork. It was definitely hit and miss for me.
Huh.
You know,
maybe I like bad art, I guess.
Or different strokes for different folks.
Yeah,
whatever speaks to you, Jeremy. If that speaks to you, and if you think that's strong art, then whatever, man.
Fine, dude. That's your opinion.
Okay, do we want to go over? I know I have
Mad Love. Let's hit it.
Mad Love. She's so beautiful. I love that. I love that assassin right there, that harlequin of crime. And Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, what a creation. 30 years. We're at the 30-year anniversary, by the way. I think this week or last week. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, that character came from an animated series, and this was her premiere on DC Comics.
Mm-hmm. There is a little storybook that actually came out before this that comes with a little tape. It's a book and tape that actually predates the Mad Love, and the BA-12 and all those. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is written by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. Cover was Bruce Timm and art by Bruce Timm. And this is from Batman Adventures from 1992. And let's see. Was there an issue, or was this just a graphic novel?
Just the graphic novel that came out like this.
I thought it was a. Oh, you have it.
Yeah, right here. It's all in one shot.
So did the book come out first, or the
animated series?
Oh, I don't. First. Well, yeah, the animated series brought her first. I don't know on this particular storyline which came first.
I believe this episode. This storyline was an episode in the animated series.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it was.
I don't recall it, but like perfectly, but it felt very familiar.
Yeah, definitely.
And it reads just like one of the animated series episodes, so it doesn't surprise me at all if it was.
Yeah, I just hear Mark Hamill's voice reading this.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally did everybody's voice in my head. Kevin Conroy, the whole cast was
same
there.
Here.
Yeah, I was just like
Harley. Who did Harley's voice?
I forget her name.
Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Tara Strong. Yeah. I was hearing her the whole time. Even though I'm watching Harley Quinn on HBO.
Voice, and I don't even know who does that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you totally forget Kaylee Cuoco while reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say this really tells right from the beginning how just hard of a relationship this is. Like, good lord.
It's totally abusive.
Oh, it is it's just like, wow.
It is.
Us 90 kids were all about it. We were just like, this is great. Oh man.
The only thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know this. It's really tough, Jeremy. I mean, there's nothing worse. I mean, I don't think a man should ever hit a woman.
Oh no. Like it was like totally.
Yeah, all the girls wanted to be Harley. They wanted to have the love, they wanted to have the mad love for Joker, no matter what. I understand. It's
crazy that we all were watching this on TV as cartoons for kids.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I don't think they could put this out kind of a cartoon anymore.
Yeah, but these are great classic scenes with her and the negligee, and I mean, this is all. I mean, boom, boom, boom. I mean, this is hitting on all cylinders for me.
It was fantastic. I enjoyed it so much.
And the art's very much like the animated series.
It really is. I'm telling you, from beginning to end, I read this in maybe 3 minutes. Like, I was just like, phew. It was such a quick read.
Clearly, you and I have read this before, Jeremy. Leo, have you ever read this before?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think we covered this on Dark Knight one time.
Love the whole where he goes through all of his different stories about, like, I remember so many different of Joker's origin stories. I thought that was great.
And Harley falls for him, and then when Batman's like, did he tell you the one about this, or did he tell you the one about that? And she's like, you mean I'm not special?
Yeah.
Breaks her heart.
It hits. It's like really emotional. I'm telling you, like this, like she's looking for that right there. The family. She wants to have all of that. It's Lenny Schwartz. Is it already 9 o'clock?
It's already 9 o'clock, guys.
Oh my God!
Wow.
We
how
have run
Hi,
late.
Lenny. How are you?
Good to see you guys. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. I'll let you guys finish what you're doing. I'll just hang back here.
Oh no, it's great.
No, welcome. We were
lost
just going
Leo,
over. We were going over Harley Quinn, the origin story that came out in DC Comics, and we're trying to, because of our two guests tonight, which we haven't announced yet who they are.
That's one of my favorite outfits Joker wears, by the way, when he's on the boat there with the hat and the trench. Love that purple.
Mm-hmm. And we just hit Harley's 30th anniversary, so
wow,
yeah, it's a big storyline.
I remember that Mad Love. I bought it off the stands. Was it 1995?
92.
92. Oh my God, I'm getting old.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
As young as we used to be. So we should, I guess we guys should introduce our first guest.
Oh, yeah.
So we have here Lenny Schwartz.
Hey guys.
Who is the writer-director of the new Bill Finger play. And he's going to tell us all about it tonight, aren't you, Lenny?
Absolutely. Whatever you guys want to know, I'll be happy to go through it with you guys.
Awesome. We're excited to hear that. And so this is Leo. He's our captain. And Jar Jar Jeremy, and you and I have been emailing back and forth.
Absolutely.
And we have someone else coming in a few minutes. We have our guest, Athena Finger, who we've had on before, who is the Empress to the Bat Empire legacy.
Nice. I love Athena. I haven't seen her in a week, I think. I've been seeing her a lot on cameras and what's it called? Zoom. So, I mean, I'll be seeing her in a couple of weeks. I think she's going to the New York premiere, so I'll see her in about 3 weeks. So I'm excited about that.
Wow, awesome!
Yeah, very excited. So ask away, guys. I'm at your disposal. What can I help? What can I answer for you guys?
Well, okay. Leo is back. Sorry, I was.
Yeah.
No, you want to set it off, Jeremy? Because I know you've done a ton of research.
Oh no! You go ahead. Lenny. I'm
here. Our other guest.
Oh, look at that.
Of the Bat legacy, Athena Finger.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, there are people still out there that don't know that you, Athena Finger, are the granddaughter of the great Bill Finger, who is now credited since 2016 as the co-creator of The Batman.
Yeah, there's still people learning the true history of Batman. That's okay. We educate them.
One of the books we read tonight actually only credited Bob Kane as well. So, we made sure to point that all out and such.
Yeah, because that's
thank you.
1996. So, we hadn't dropped who our guest was, so Jeremy was dropping a little hint.
Yes.
little Easter egg before our guests were dropped.
We're like a Marvel TV show right now.
Absolutely. Now, Lenny,
yes.
Before you got in contact with Athena, now what is your background? Can you tell us a little bit about you before this whole project has come to be?
This is well before 2014. I always tell the story that I started off writing plays back in 1996. And I learned about Bill Finger back when the first Batman movie came out. I was actually working for a comic store. Probably, I think it was definitely under the table. I was 13 years old, and Batman and Me just had come out because the movie had come out. And remember it being on the shelf, and the person who was running the store says, don't read that. He goes, let me tell you about Bill Finger. And after that, it always kind of changed my worldview. I started getting into theater in like the early 90s. Wrote my first play in 1995. Had my first play directed in 1996. And I'd always wanted to do comedies. I never really thought about ever doing biographical plays. But in the year 2000, I actually started writing a screenplay about Buster Keaton. And it took me about like 11 or 12 years to get it together. When I put that show up in 2011, I was like, oh, wow, I did that. And I did a play about the Marx Brothers and then Lucille Ball. And I did a play about Charles Schultz. And I kind of had given up about doing biographical materials and people said, well, what would you want to do? And actually, I always said there was always like, three things plays I always wanted to do. One was the story of Bill Finger, though, biographically. And, literally that next year, I literally bumped into Athena at in the 2014 Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. Okay. And it's just like, it was kind of an idea, didn't know what it would mean, what paths, and I didn't know how much research we'd have to do on that. Because it's a lot of stuff that doesn't exist anymore. And but that's kind of my genesis. I've been writing plays. I've been writing about 2 to 3 shows a year. I had stuff produced surprisingly all over the world, but you'd have to look really close.
Awesome.
I've actually had a lot of stuff produced in New York and Rhode Island, and this is my second. There's different places around, different colleges I've done stuff, but I've had stuff go overseas. But I've always loved directing plays, so it kind of goes hand in hand with me at this point. But that's kind of my background. I do film too. I'm actually shooting a film right now. Which after the show ends, I got to go right onto set on October 12th. So I'm excited about that. Oh, and awesome. We're shooting through the winter, and I think it's going to be a 28-day film shoot actually after this. We've already got 3 days done, but we have another 28 days to go on there, and it's pretty intense.
Can you tell us what is it called? Can you tell us?
The Haunted and the Hunted. It's a werewolf story that takes place. It's a silent movie. It doesn't have any dialogue. It has music and sound effects, but there's no dialogue in the film. And it's about the post-apocalyptic. It's a post-apocalyptic movie. The werewolves have won, and it's one woman being chased by werewolves over the course of 3 nights. And literally, it's a long action. The whole thing's action. We had shot in two days, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and we're doing 10-hour days. It's a full film crew, and these guys are great. And somehow I just kind of I'm like, okay, I act like I know what I'm doing. And they're wonderful though. These guys have worked on real movie sets. These guys are, I can go through their credits. You're like, oh God, because I know I do. I'm like, oh God, but but trust me, I do. And we shot for 10 days straight, and it's the beginning of the movie, and we're like, yes. After the end of the 10 days, we did so many setups, and it's probably about 6 minutes worth of film. But that's how much time is being put into all these things. Just watching the lighting alone, it's stuff I've always known how to do, but to implement it in the right way with the budget we have, it's taking a bit. So we want it to be good. So, but that we're looking for that to get distribution next year on that one. But that's going to take some time to film. I still have to build a werewolf, which is going to be amazing.
How did you get into all this writing plays and filming, producing movies and such?
It's kind of funny. I think I've heard it said by many people. I've always been interested in telling stories. I always love to tell stories no matter what form it is. I love storytelling, and I love comic books, and I love film and all these things. And what's amazing about it was about writing stuff is all you really need to do it is an idea, a dream, and a piece of paper and a pen. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's so wonderful to do stuff that people haven't seen before, and to do stories that people don't know about. When we're talking about someone like Bill Finger, like Athena said, a lot of people still don't know the story and don't know who Bill Finger was, and you have to remember a lot of people before 2015 they're still reading The Dark Knight Returns, which I don't know if it's been updated, but still says Batman created by Bob Kane, and same thing with Batman Year One, and maybe they've updated it, but there's millions of copies out there that have just Bob Kane's name on it. And to re-educate people and to actually frame it for them is very important. So I love telling stories like that. I love writing stories like that, but I also love different stories too. And I love people who write, and I love I'm sorry that Athena's beau isn't here, Rick. I love Rick too. I love Athena. I love Rick dearly, but I love Rick so much because he's got so many ideas, and I love that. I love that. I talked to Rick sometimes recently and got to know him a little bit during Facebook, and he's got so many ideas, and it's so wonderful, and they're all so original. So I love that. So anyone who wants to tell a story, man, I'm in. Like myself, I love watching movies. I'm the dumbest moviegoer in the world. I'm so dumb. Like I'll sit in a movie where 5 minutes in, you should know who the killer is, and then I'm like, oh my god, I do even like this. I'm like, oh, like I'm M. Night Shyamalan's best customer because I fall for it all, man. I'm such a solid what people are doing.
You get drawn into a good story, sure.
Yeah, and I love a good story, so I really do. I love every part of it. Anyone who's putting something into someone who loves what they're doing and loves it, and it shows. I forgive a lot. I even forgive a lot of the technical stuff or stuff that I shouldn't, because I just love that the people who are so interested in is telling us a story. And I think that I think it's almost sometimes a lost art, just enjoying it, So that's what I love. That's why
I agree with you. Just sitting back and enjoying it for what it is, and not sitting there picking apart a movie or being like, oh, it should have done this or should have. Right. It makes the experience so much better.
I agree 100%.
Absolutely. And Lenny, it's interesting what a small world the creative and nerd world becomes. Because like I've cosplayed for like 30 years. And so I actually knew Rick for many years.
Oh my God.
And then I got invited like 4 or 5 years ago, an actor that's in your production, Dave Almeida.
Oh my God.
Did a play that he invited me to of the Bill Finger story.
Oh my gosh!
Really? And so that was my connection then eventually to Athena, between Rick and Dave, and now I've learned that you guys are putting out this. It's a 3-city tour, correct?
Yeah, it's so weird how it happened. Like even a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't even sure, what, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we had the invite for New York, and it was like, looking, I always wanted to do it in New York was the big thing. Making sure that, it's done before New York Comic-Con. I have this idea now in my head. I kind of like to take it to San Diego if it does well. So that's a possibility, because I don't like to put roofs on things, but maybe it'll happen and maybe it won't, but I always, I kind of like to feel around, because people are asking me, like, how do you do this? And honestly, man, I don't know either. I'm just making it up as I go. I hate to say that. It sounds terrible, but it's
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but it's funny because I've done theater for so long, and I actually have done actual besides comic book plays, been very much active in the theater festival scene. I've helped consult on Broadway shows. I've done different things. But the funny thing is that, just using those tools, even with the film production, the things you learn along the way, you take with you. So when I'm working with the theater right now, the chain theater, they're like, well, we have to get the insurance under control. I'm like, here you go. Cause I'm suddenly great at insurance, I can do it. So it's, so it's all stuff you learn along the way. And it's so cool. The opportunities that come up, and the opportunity for Pennsylvania, I wasn't even sure of until a couple weeks ago. But it's a lot of it's just going by the seat of your pants and figuring it out. And also,
what are your current dates, Lenny, that are solid right now?
Oh, everything is Pennsylvania this weekend, 17th and 18th. I think, yep, 17th and 18th. Then we're in Rhode Island, September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And the week after that, which is the 29th, 30th, and the 1st of October. And then October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in New York, which we're selling tickets for, which has been great. Even before the call today, we sold a bunch of tickets. So I was like, cool, nice. For New York, which has been great. And I'm like, that's awesome. When I say, though, flying by the seat of your pants, is going in knowing what you know from before. Again, can this be done? How do you take 16 people from Rhode Island and not how to get them from Rhode Island to New York, which sounds very insane to do, but it's actually not that hard when you've done it for 10 years. It's just a matter of filling in the blanks at this point. So it's just a matter of making sure you get your insurance, making sure that everybody's safe, making sure that you're doing the smart things to make sure when you're in that moment, when you have to make those decisions, what decisions you have to make, and just following it through. And actually, the biggest thing I tell everyone too, 3 things. Number 1, if you want to write, sit down and actually write. Michael Uslan said this, and I listened to this. I agree with this. Get off the couch and write. You can, people. I don't have writer's block. I don't think many people do. I have. I think people have writer's lays. Like Law and Order is on, or something's on that I want to watch. I want to watch a TV show, so they don't really see. They put it on for the next day. Do it now. I agree with that 100%. I also think that the other thing too is, as I tell people, you have to actually follow up with people, consistent follow up with people, and I'm sure Athena could probably talk on that too. I find it very hard when people don't follow up or respond to an email. It's not that hard to give a thumbs up on Facebook. It's not that hard to say, hey, I received this. I'll get back to you when I come back from vacation. Mm-hmm. You have to, because a lot of things is you have to be in communication with people. And number 3, you have to create a safe environment so people want to come back and work with you. And those things are very key to me, and they have a good experience, and do the best show you possibly can. So I'm totally rambling, so go ahead, guys.
Not at all. Very interesting stuff.
Thank you.
Now, Athena, you're going to go to the New York premiere?
I am. I'm going to the New York premiere. Unfortunately, I was not able to join in the Pennsylvania festivities. I'm going to be in New York City this weekend for Batman Day.
Nice.
I'm doing an event with Ray Felix, who does the Bronx Heroes, and he coordinated an event in Poe Park. So. Yeah. In the Bronx, It'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then definitely New York. Super excited to see the new vision of Bill Finger, Rise of the Bat.
Mm-hmm. Now, and I saw your name on some of the stuff, so you did have some involvement in this.
Yeah, I mean, when Lenny wanted to rework the play, and we were kind of trying to put together a screenplay and come up with something, but couldn't come up with anything that really resonated, but it was great as a play. So we really wanted to make sure that we brought in some elements that were kind of missing, and give it a different spin a little bit. So, I'm not going to give it away.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to see it.
Can you tell
but it was
those?
Really nice to have seen the first version of it back in 2015 and be able to be part of that process of revamping it. And I really do like what we have put together, and I can't wait to see it on the stage. Apparently Lenny has found some amazing actors, so I'm definitely excited to see what they bring to the characters and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's been a great thing. And my sister was part of the process. My sister was still living in Rhode Island at the time, so me being in Florida was a little harder, but I did come up a few times to do table reads with people and kind of hash things out. So it was really it was a collaboration between the 3 of us, and just working out those finer details that were kind of missing. So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Now,
I was just gonna have Athena tell everybody, for those who don't really know the entire story, her entire story. How did you exactly get involved in letting everybody know? I know you're the final living person of the Finger. Well, not the final, but you were at the time the last living person. But how did you get involved? Who came up to you and was like, this is some big stuff, and because I know you knew about it and stuff, but you weren't really too determined to people that you guys have probably like talked to DC or Warner Brothers, but like nobody was really fighting legally right away. What got you guys involved?
Well, I got kind of pushed into it after my father passed away in 92. I was still a minor. It was before my 16th birthday. So it was something that was always lingering, even when my dad was still alive, as far as getting the credit or recognition for Bill. So when he passed away, it was, it was at a point on where it was still not something that could be resolved. In fact, I was told not to even approach the subject because I don't have $1 billion and I don't have, the dream team for my legal side.
Yeah, going against Warner Brothers or DC is
right. So, it was something that I didn't really talk about with people in general or even approach the subject for almost 15 years. Not that I didn't have communication with DC. I did reach out to them a few times over the years and be like, hey, what can I do here? Like, what can we do? And never really getting any resolution. So it wasn't really until about 2007 that Mark Nobleman got in touch with me, who was researching my grandfather for a book. Yeah. He had done a book about Siegel and Schuster.
Yeah,
and how they came up with Superman. Right. And so he wanted to do another one. So, and he knew about Bill. And so he wanted to bring his story out and realized that that was extremely difficult because he was kind of a recluse. I mean, he wasn't out there being flashy or, he wasn't the Bob Kane being the showman.
No, I read some interesting stuff about the man when I was doing my research about you and stuff, and how like even to get credit top billing on the 66 show for one of his episodes was like just something incredible for the guy. Like,
right, it was those small little things to just recognize what his importance was to the character and to the industry in general. I mean, he was one of, and I like to call them the founding fathers, the men that were involved, and the women in those golden years. And I mean, a lot of people have used Bill Finger's story as like a template on how to create a storyline for comics now. He was, the one that really understood how to make the story flow within the panels and really communicate with the artist on what the panels should look like and things like that. So, he was really a man of his craft. And so there wasn't that much information out there. And so when Mark discovered me, I mean, DC has always known about me. I mean, I got stuff from DC after my father passed away. So it's not that they didn't know that I existed or not exist. It's just that they never wanted to resolve the issue at the time. And I was discouraged. And so Mark comes along in 2007 and says, no, you need to do this. And I'm like, no, there's way too much family trauma around this whole thing. And I can't deal with that right now. So, but he was persistent, and I broke down basically and said, all right, I guess I'll contact them and start the process of whatever is going to happen. It wasn't really until 2012 that I started really pursuing the actual legal side of getting him credit. So,
your sister helped a lot with that, right?
Yes. My sister actually is an attorney. Yeah. And when she was in college, her specialty was copyright law. Go figure, right?
Perfect.
That's not what she did when she got out and started practicing law, but that is what she focused on that. And so because of that, she had some contacts and resources to reach out to people that can help artists or family of artists that were in our situation. So that was a huge help, being able to have her kind of navigate that side. I am not in any way knowing the law. And I've learned a lot going through all of this.
There's a reason they have to go to school for so long.
For a long time.
Have you ever read some of those papers? I'm just like, this is
I have no
not
desire
English.
to. No. I teach math. I don't like words.
I just got through a divorce. I got to read a whole bunch of them. They were horrible.
Probably very dry reading.
Oh.
So I mean, really, I mean, I knew that I needed to eventually do something, but Mark really kind of pushed me in that direction of, you need to approach the subject. You need to start thinking about what to do about the Bill Finger situation, basically. And like I said, it wasn't until 2012 when The Dark Knight Rises came out that really DC Warner Brothers kind of pushed me to have to pursue the legal side. So, I mean, there was a lot of factors, but with the time, it actually played in my favor. And Bob's words from his book also worked in our favor. The research that Mark did definitely, was a huge help with proving the copyright law of 1976 to show that it was a collaboration between the two of them, and they have equal rights to claim the creation and all of that stuff. So, and even within the industry, there were changes, right? With the Jack Kirby case and things like that, it had really kind of forced the industry to reevaluate the way that they treated these people and their legacies, basically. So, I mean, I was pretty fortunate in the fact that all of this stuff kind of came together. So then in 2014 is really when we were making our final stretch to really get that resolved one way or another. I mean, I knew I had a 50-50 shot with this whole thing. So with the 75th anniversary, that was really the PR, and that's what my job was, is PR pretty much, because I'm not the lawyer. I was out there telling the people, I was educating. Like you said, a lot of people don't know the story still. But I mean, with the documentary that came out in 2017, that helped a lot with telling the story.
Right. Bill and the Batman, that was the Hulu documentary, correct?
Batman and Bill, Hulu exclusive. It's actually the second Hulu documentary that Hulu ever did. They had just approached doing documentaries under their own label, and the Batman was one of four. It was the Beatles, Batman, 007, and one other one that I can't think of.
I'm sorry, guys.
And you were in that documentary quite a bit.
Oh, I mean, they wanted to hear the family side of the story and a little bit of the legal side that we're allowed to share, because, of course, we have arrangements with DC Warner. Sure. And really just, the documentary is great. The documentary focuses a lot about the research that Mark did and his journey through the Bill Finger story and how he fit into everything, and then how the family came together and really pushed to get this resolved one way or another. So it's a great documentary. It's a great human story, even if you're not into comics, but obviously we're all into comics. But I mean, so, I mean, like I said, I was very fortunate with the people that were starting to rally around me and starting to, really help push for the resolution. So, yeah, I mean,
and it's awesome that you got it done. You got it done, and now
we did, and I like to say we because there were a lot of people involved. Besides myself and my sister and Mark. we had an attorney that was working pro bono in the beginning who helped us get the initial paperwork done. And she works for an artist council. So that's what their firm does, is help artists who are in some legal battle with whoever.
And I know before he passed, the great Jerry Robinson was very vocal on your grandfather's contributions.
Because Jerry was there in the beginning. He saw what was going on, and he knew that Bill was not being respected in any way and needed something. And that's where the Bill Finger Award came from. That's presented at the Eisners every year in San Diego.
Yeah,
and that was
grandfather was not paid well. I mean, he didn't. From all the portrayals that I've read, he lived kind of a poor existence.
Oh, he was definitely at the poverty level. I mean, with the weekend that he passed away, I mean, he had an eviction notice. I mean, to give you some idea, I mean,
it's terribly sad.
It is. Wow. And when he did pass away, it was like nobody even noticed. And he was so influential in the industry that, it's like, this man who did so much for the industry, and not just for like a few years in the beginning. I mean, he worked for DC for 25 plus years. Right. It's not like he was some noob off the street.
Absolutely.
So it's sad. It really is.
Right. The story I want to jump on with Athena, I've heard this recently, that there was a New York Comic-Con going on, not even like 5 miles from Bill's place. I think in like late 1973 or like even the beginning of 74. I forget the date of it, but someone had said this, that while Bill Finger was basically suffering by himself, Bob Kane was right down like maybe 5 miles away, saying how
being
he created
celebrated.
Batman. And that's insane to think about, and this, like, talking about how he did it and how he did these things. And meanwhile, and I mean, you have to look at it this way. They were friends. I mean, at some point they had been friends or been friendly. So while he's doing this, his friend is basically dying down the street, while he's doing this. And that's horrible, and to really think about, to have that go on for that many years, it's sad to even think about, on top of everything else.
So Lenny, you have some big boots to try to get all this emotion out on your production. So and you want a beautiful, creative endeavor at the same time. You don't want to upset Athena.
Right. That's the thing. I don't want to do that. I also feel like, and this is one of the reasons I want to redid this show, because I did it originally. And I always felt people loved that version of the show, but I always felt that was a historical document. I always like to say it's a historical document, meaning that it was missing that emotion that you were just talking about. There is an emotion that goes beyond that, that goes beyond just a story that's in there. And it's so heartbreaking. I mean, we talk about things about, we're talking about trauma. We're talking about, I mean, it's got to be a trauma for somebody to be doing that, and something that you got to realize. I mean, even, Bill Finger, Jack Kirby, these guys have been, these, like you said, the founding fathers have been put through the ringer in a lot of regards. Really put through the ringer.
Yeah, and he definitely seemed haunted by the fact that he never got to get that retribution, that credit.
Right, and I when we were talking about this on another podcast too. Whereas, you got to think about the not just the trauma, but what how back then you didn't have, as I want to say, as maybe as recognized mental illness. We didn't have it wasn't talked about. It wasn't like, people, depression wasn't as talked about as it is present day. And things like that, what people were going through, what people suffered through. And so there wasn't everything with internet. There wasn't anything like that. It was just like newspapers and TV, maybe, we weren't, their resources for people to actually go through the things weren't as prevalent in people's reach, almost, it would feel like. So I can imagine like what it must feel like, and that was what we're trying to, how did Bill get by was really the question. And that was one of the things I had to ask myself when I went back into it. I never really thought about it. How do you get by, how do you make it to 1974, trying to survive day to day, day by day, and somebody, how do you reconcile that? Somebody saying, hey, you know what? Look, he opens up a comic and there's his name not there. Like, how does one person get through that and knowing what he could do and what he did do? It's not, at a certain point, it doesn't even come about recognition. It comes about humanity and what is actually right. And I wonder that myself, like, how would somebody do that? And that was kind of my entry point, I think, for this show. When I redid it, I said, well, that's going to be it. How does, and I had to solve the hardest things for me was solving those questions in a very honest way. How do you do that? Like, how do you get through those things when there's not many things available? What is that person going through day to day? And that was what was important. How do you go, how do you with editors treating you like crap and people's, trying to also do what you love, which is writing, and having all these forces against you. It's in its own sense, in a different way, very heroic and very, for me, it's very inspiring in a way we haven't seen before in a play or a film. So that was my entry point to kind of get to where the show is now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it done. I think the actors, I can talk about the writing all day long, but honestly, I was telling someone today, and it's like the performances in this show these are really phenomenal actors. What they do with each of these characters it's next level for what I've dealt with in the past with actors. I've worked with actors, and nice. there are some really phenomenal people in this, and most of them are doing things for not what they should be paid for. Not to say, they're very happy. Everyone's excited to do it. They're here for the love of it. We have a guy who's in the new John Hamm Fletch movie coming out on Friday. He was just in a Dexter show. And these are people these are people who have who are taking the time off to do this. And it was so they know how important it is. And to have that commitment from that many people is an honor. And I made sure I went in every day and we recognize that. Yeah, we couldn't.
Well, I hope that our audience recognizes it too. In the show notes below, you guys can buy tickets. There's links to all the information. Leo is our man in the chair, and he's our technical wizard. He's got all that stuff down. So you want to go see this show? It's in 3 different states. You have no excuse. Anywhere you're in the Northeast, it's a good thing. You want to see this. You want to be in touch with the legacy, with the Batman legacy, with Athena Finger, and Athena has a son as well. So the legacy is going to live on.
Yes. It's funny. Benjamin just recently asked me, like, oh, I miss being part of the whole thing. And how can I get more involved? I'm like, you live in Wisconsin. I'm in Florida. It doesn't quite work that way.
We get Himicons now next.
I told him, if there's events near you, just let me know. I'll try to work it out for you.
How old is he now, Athena, your son?
He's 20.
Oh, my God, no.
No. Really? Now, what is he doing? Is he in school? Is he doing something with himself? If you don't mind sharing.
He lives with his girlfriend, and he just started a new job. He's in the food industry right now. He just started at Chick-fil-A. Okay. I know, fast food, but he's looking to get into management. He was working as a manager at Chipotle before he got this other job. So,
why not?
He's 20. He's figuring it out.
Yeah, my son's 19.
That's when I was 20.
He's doing the same thing. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh my God, I have.
He still calls me, so I did something right.
Yeah, I have 3 things to say about this. Athena, he's 20.
Yeah, he turned 20.
20?
Yes, I know. He'll be legal drinking age in May. I can't believe it.
No. I can't. He's gosh.
I know. He was so little when you met him back in 2014.
Oh my God, he's 20. Oh, my daughter's 12. I mean, so I'm sure you feel the same way. You see Callie now. She's like,
oh yeah. Listen, I have it with students too. Yeah. Listen, I've had students for the last 10 years, and I'm like, oh my God, I've known you for 10 years. You're like, you're a kid now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I did want to make a note because before the show ends too, after my shock kind of goes down, I always want to thank Athena and her sister. When I did the show originally, not that I didn't have their input, but this version has their stamp on it. I mean, working with them with the story, and we had sat down, like I said. And Alethea is not here, and I wish she was. I always like to say that she's in a different time zone.
Yeah.
And but Alethea, Athena, and I literally coming with their notes and their input, working on the story, it made going into the script that much easier, and that much just knowing what direction that it would be. Athena actually won't probably remember this, but she had said, I have one suggestion for a line, and I think it should be there in the show, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You probably know what it is. And it was so perfect, and I wrapped my entire last scene around it. And it's the most beautiful last scene I've ever written in my life, and I promise you that. It is wonderful. And I said, so having Alethea is a great lawyer, an amazing lawyer, probably the best editor I've ever worked with. I mean that, and she's listening. Thank you. She's definitely here to say a lot. She is amazing, and Athena has such amazing ideas that it made this process going back into it and looking at the original script and saying, well, this doesn't work. And I basically, from the original script, I probably used about 15%, and the rest is all new. 85 to like 90% is all new. And those are from the contributions in our stories, from San Diego to Rhode Island to New York one time. I mean, it's just one or two things. It could be either here or there just from the start. From that, it's all stuff I retained, and that made the real difference in getting it across the finish line.
Right. Now, Lenny, that previous show that I saw 4 years ago, were you involved in that show?
It was based off the script that I did. I mean, it was a script. I looked at it. They did a great job with what they were given. The issue was, if you watch the show, I can point out about 20 different mistakes. This is a writer that you should never do. And it's not their fault. They did a great job. I thought they did a great job. The acting was good. What they did was very unique. I had no input as a director, though, as far as doing. Dave did a great job. He did a great job. But yeah.
Sure. It was an enjoyable show. I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, obviously, I don't have a play background, but I certainly found it entertaining and certainly informative, and gave a different view that the Hulu series did not.
Right.
So,
that Hulu series again was more about Mark's journey with the family put in there,
right?
Which is great. I don't want to take away from the documentary. It's a great documentary. Okay, but that's really what that documentary was about. It was about Mark's journey with Bill Finger, and then having the family come in and resolve it, and then it ends with Mark seeing that all of his hard work paid off.
Absolutely.
So yes, there's real elements missing from the documentary, but that's where you have the opportunity to have other documentaries come in or other avenues of telling the story.
Right.
So the play is one way that we're, like I said, it originally started with us trying to write a screenplay to do some fictional based on the Bill Finger story. But it worked better as a play. So we didn't want to take away from all of the hard work that we all put into this project.
100%.
There's so much more meat on the bones. And so having all these different avenues of telling the story is going to kind of bring it all together. So it will have, that human element. It will have the family turmoil, the inner turmoil, the friendship coming and going, all of that other stuff that was kind of not included, or it was, and it was kind of dry.
More generalized.
Right. Because again, that wasn't really the focus. It was more about finding out all of this information, how it fit all together so that Mark could tell his story.
Now, Athena.
So again, working with Lenny, I'm working on other projects also, trying to tell more of that meat part of the story that's kind of missing. But I mean, people are going to take what they want from it. They're going to do with their own story. I can't even think of the word now. Jeez. They're going to do their own research. Listen, it's been a long day.
absolutely. We got you in the evening. We appreciate your time. We'll take you however we can get you.
Yeah. So I'm still talking, so I'm okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
The last time we had you here, Athena, you were telling us about an exciting, it wasn't an Aquaman project, but it was an aqua-related hero project that was comedic. Is there any movement on that project?
The people who are in charge of that have relocated up to the Chicago area. They had an opportunity to start doing stuff up there. So I think at some point they're going to bring us into it. Right now they're mainly focusing on the main character.
Okay, so getting more on the back burner right now.
A little bit, which is fine. I mean, we have so many other things going on right now. Plus, sure. Rick is still working on his outfit for his character. So, we'll always have like 5 things going on, if not more. So, yeah, no, I mean, it's still there. It's just, it took a little bit of a different direction. So we're just waiting to see what happens.
I just thought it was important for people to know. I mean, you're so much more than just your grandfather, granddaughter, that you have other projects that you're working on as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there's other stuff that I would love to do. I mean, people keep asking if I'll do a comic book or if I'll collaborate with someone and do some other kind of projects. I've done a couple variant covers for people. So I try to sprinkle in wherever I can and do various projects. Mm-hmm. I am working with a production company in Canada right now, trying to get another aspect of the Bill Finger story out there. A little more about the women's side, the women that were involved with the story and getting it resolved and things like that. Because again, there's so many different pieces to the story that can be focused on.
Right. Well, there's also the aspect of your father, who was Bill's son, and who was a chef, and I'm sorry to say he passed away from AIDS, and when you were still very young. So that's a whole other book in itself. Just the trauma.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of what we're trying to bring out is a little more of the family story. Because there is a lot there. And I mean, my dad was an artist and he, his life was cut short because of this horrible disease that was going around in the 80s. And he was very creative and he was self-taught, especially with his culinary skills. I mean, he was kind of another, innovator and influencer of the time with the, food is not just something you put in your mouth. It can be beautiful. It can have meaning and feeling and emotion and all of that stuff. Oh, yeah. And so that was kind of his new palette. And that was the palette that he really shined with. I mean, there is a lot going on there with multiple generations of the Fingers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leo, did you have any questions for Lenny or Athena?
I do, and I just want to remind everybody, definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. I got all the links there to check it out. And so let's say for somebody like out west that can't make it and see the play, have you thought about recording it and then releasing it on video after the play is run?
I thought about that, and there's just 2 problems with that. I hate videotaped theater pieces. The other biggest problem I have is I have actors in the show who are SAG actors. So there's a SAG. There is. I mean, they're Screen Actors Guild actors. I mean, so I can't film them without. I could. Then it turns into a whole thing with the Screen Actors Guild, and they like to see that their dues are paid and all these things, and it turns into this nightmare. I love to personally if I didn't have a cast that was SAG. I still would be hesitant though, because what ends up happening a lot of times is it turns into a flat screen. That being said though, what I would like to do actually, when this is all said and done, if it gets what I should do, and I keep threatening New York, San Diego Comic-Con, but whatever happens with that, I'm kind of doing the same thing with the Ditko show I had done, where I have people who want to put on the show, and I kind of just give it to them for free rights. Just get us a plane ticket out there, basically. I think that'd be the best way to do it. I'm not looking to make money on this show, so I think it would be cool if, like, I think in the stipulation was that me, Athena, and Rick get plane tickets in a hotel room. What do you think, Athena? Does that sound good?
That works.
I think that'll be our rights there. I think that will be, if I can't make it, Rick gets like a free meal, and you guys get free meals or something. We'll figure it out. I don't think I really want to tell the story, and I'm very lucky to myself have a really nice full-time job for the first time in my life, and the last like 5-6 years it's been really great. But I also wanted my entire life, and even if I didn't have the job, I still think it's the right thing to do, is to spread the story as much as possible and to say, here you go, put it on with the theater company, just invite us, and we'll even do like a Q&A afterwards. We'll take over the theater. It's gonna be great. We'll talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the play at all.
We're getting that.
For 2 hours, it's like what is going on? Why do we invite these people?
Why are these strange people here?
Why is Aquaman going crazy and he's fighting the other guy? I'm like, I don't know, but it's cool. I put another play on. It's good. By the way, I really want to do Rick's. Rick has a great script he sent to me, but if Rick is listening, please get that script on Rick. Anyway, go ahead, guys.
I'll tell him. No, he's not here. He's somewhere else right now. So
if he's listening later, Rick, you can hear.
Yes. He's working on his tridents right now. He just 3D printed a bunch of them, so he's trying to.
Oh, nice. What's he using for a 3D printer?
He's printing his trident, his iconic trident that's been falling apart. So he 3D printed a bunch of the parts, and he's been putting them together to get them ready to be painted.
Oh, I was going real geeky on you. I was wondering what type, the name of the printer he was using. Is he using like okay?
That's his project.
Told me like so many times. You think I hold on to that information? No. Come on, I have more important things to store in here. I have
see a lot of Star Wars stuff back there. She's more into Star Wars than she is the laser printers.
Oh yeah, I see that R2 unit up there. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, well that's all Rick's stuff. That's all of his Star Wars stuff. I mean, I have a few little things, but that's mainly his stuff.
Well, so what do you collect, Athena?
What do I collect? Well, that is I collect Felix the cat. Is what I almost, oh my goodness, I saw one of these most beautiful things I had never seen before in my life. Didn't even know that even existed, and I wanted to buy it, but I couldn't justify the cost of it. But it was the 1931 very first colorized comic of Felix the cat, and it was like, it's not like comic book size, it's like this big square thing,
like the treasure,
and it was in such beautiful condition. Like I so wanted it so badly. I really did. I just couldn't justify the cost because I knew I had to do things like replace my computer. So priority.
Maybe someone will get you a special Christmas gift.
Maybe. I don't know. It was expensive. But yeah, no, I like to collect Felix the Cat stuff. I mean, I do have like, Batman pops and things like that. But if I'm at a show, I'm looking for Felix the Cat comics, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for the old ones, not the new ones. I'm looking for, the Dell and the Harvey prints and all the other ones that are rare. They're really hard to find, which I find very strange considering Felix was the first commercialized cartoon. So, but whatever. I mean, I've asked people about this. It's up to the family. They just don't want to be bothered, I guess. They don't see the significance of making a present, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy people like me that are like, where's Felix?
I know we are running close on time. So a question, I totally don't want you to get into specifics or anything like that, but how did the deal work with DC? Like, so like the new Batman movie came out. Do any proceeds go to the family, or is it just recognition? Like how does the whole deal work?
I'm not really allowed to discuss the monetary side. I mean, you know.
But like when they green light, they just green lit Batman 2. Do
They,
you get an email?
You know, what you have to consider is that, yes, with credit comes compensation, but that, you know, we're talking about a corporation, so they're going to have whatever they're going to want to hold on to. So, I mean, I get to go to the parties.
Sure. Well, like something like that, Athena, like they just greenlit Batman 2 with Rob Pattinson. Do you get an email? Do they ask you anything? Or
oh no, they don't ask me anything. They don't care.
Okay, so you just find out
like, we're obligated to let you come to the party. So here you go. You know, it's weird. It's a weird world. It really is. I just kind of roll with it at this point, because I have to remind myself that it's a corporation, and corporations don't have morals, they don't have ethics, they don't care about the human heart or the soul.
Right.
They care about the bottom line, and you kind of you play the game. It really is a big game. And I am not the greatest at it, but I do what I can to keep myself going in the
game. Yeah, you're a human like anyone else.
I will say that Robert Pattinson, when there's ever a premiere, like anything like that, they announce it. They don't like invite me either, but they do. If I get emails from Robert Pattinson, am I going to be good? You'll be fine, Robert. I promise you. Joaquin, you're going to be a great Joker. You're going to win an Oscar. I promise you. It's overwhelming at times. So, but I hold it.
Well, speaking of the new Batman, what did both of you think of the latest installment?
I loved it. I think it was great.
It was really good. I really liked it. Yeah. Bringing the whole detective side back into the Batman story is like super important. That's something that's been missing for a while. So. Yeah, we hadn't really had that since like the animated series in the 90s.
Agreed. And he was great.
Oh yeah, I think he did an amazing job. It's so funny because people would ask me, so what do you think of, the shimmery vampire being Batman? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I never even saw any of the Twilight movies. I had no desire to see them. I know him from movies like The Lighthouse. So
amazing.
He's gonna be awesome.
Amazing film. Yeah, if you've ever seen I think it's The Rover. It's unbelievable. He is unbelievable. That and Good Time. I think is one of his best performances actually.
Okay.
But he's very
So I mean, I know him from more of his serious work. So I was like, I don't know what you fans are like crying about. This man is a very good actor, and like, but I mean, they've done that with like pretty much anyone who's put on the suit. Oh, yeah. So it's like it's the same rhetoric every time someone new comes in. I mean, they didn't like Ben Affleck either, but I thought he was amazing in the suit.
Oh, right,
he was out of the suit. It's just too bad the movie sucked.
Right.
Yeah. And when Keaton was initially, they talked about him being Batman. Everyone freaked out. Right. They were like, "What? He's a skinny guy. This, that, and the other." And now everyone's freaking out.
He can't be serious.
Right. Oh my God, Mr. Mom as Batman? What
exactly. No. He was amazing. So, and people are always like nitpicking, but every person who brings on the character or takes it on, they bring something interesting to the character. They add their own little flair, whatever it is. I mean, again, the actors can't control what happens with the movie. All they can do is do the best job they can in the movie.
Right. With the script they're handed.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I think all of them have done a really good job. It's just they're all different. So that's my take.
There you go.
Well, it's great to hear. I absolutely loved it myself. And one thing that was I don't remember seeing this in any of the other Batmans, but at the end they actually gave thanks. Well, obviously to Bill Finger, but to some of the artists like Lee Bermejo was credited at the end, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's that change in the industry and where they realize that they have to give credit to people who have contributed to whatever part of the comic or story or whatever they're using. So that's why that list has gotten longer. Like if you saw at the end of the Suicide Squad movie, right? There was like a novel afterwards thanking so many people that were in the industry because they used so many characters from so many different places and put them in that movie. So, I mean, and even with like the Joker movie, they did a special thank you to Bill, Bob, and Jerry because it was the three of them that, you know, created the character so that they could have this amazing movie that made $1 bajillion.
We're not going to talk about the possibility of what they're talking about for part 2. I don't want to talk about that right now.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what kind of musical it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well,
is it going to be dark like Sweeney Todd, or is it going to be something not dark Sweeney Todd?
I trust in Joaquin. I think Joaquin chooses good projects. I don't know about the rest of it though. I'm interested. But I
think they should have just left it with the first Joker movie and just been done with it. But that's my opinion. I mean,
I think it made too much money.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, but this one's not going to make as much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? No matter how hard they try, it's not going to be the original because the original was so unique on how they told the story. The one big flaw of that Joker movie is that they rehashed again the killing of Martha.
Yeah.
They didn't need to include that. It was kind of an odd thing to fit into that story. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I might be completely wrong, and it might blow us out of the water again and be like, "Holy crap! Look at this amazing piece of film in front of us."
I hope that they do something that is, because I think is a lot of opinions like that. Like, and I agree because I'm like, what could they do? I thought it was such a perfect encapsulation of who the Joker is, and I thought it was such a perfect film for what it was at that point. But you're right, it doesn't open its doors for a sequel. But I hope they go with the challenge, like, okay, you think we can't do it? Let's show them. And that would be
if they resolve the issue of whether he was really just hallucinating the whole movie, because I know that they're bringing in Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and then the whole thing with her becoming Harley and the love story between the two of them. So if they kind of clarify that, I think that will kind of move it along, and then people will buy into it a little more. You know what I mean? Because it was such an intense, heavy movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember going into it with low expectations on purpose.
Okay.
And because I was such a fan of course, his name now is going to escape me.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's performance, because as far as I'm concerned, besides Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger is the Joker. Visually, and he just put on, in my opinion, such an amazing performance. So going in and I liked Joaquin's stuff, but I was like, I don't know if he's going to pull off the Joker. So I went in with low expectations, and he blew me away. He did a great job. And
he did. He is a really impressive
and the emotion
actor.
that he emoted was very strong.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like that there was such a backlash from the content of that movie. People either really loved it or they absolutely hated it. And people who asked me after I saw the premiere were like, "So what'd you think?" I'm like, "Well, I couldn't really talk after I watched it because it was so intense and just really like heavy subjects." The first response that I always had in regards to that is that it's not a comic book movie. Don't go into it thinking that it's a comic book movie, because really it's not. It's really about the destruction of society and how they deal with mental illness. That's really what it comes down to, what that movie is about. And how if you really do ignore someone who really does need help, this is potentially what could happen and has happened in the past, and could happen in the future still if you don't address these issues and really take a look at the system and make it functional versus, oh, sorry, we're cutting corners. You can no longer get your medication and we can't see you anymore. So see ya. Good luck. That's pretty much where he was left at. And I mean, it still happens every minute of every day that somebody's in that situation. And so I think that the fact that it was so real and not a comic book, that people couldn't deal with it. So I think, that's why I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do in the second one, because it wasn't something that was lighthearted even a dark comic can still be a dark comic and still be considered a comic. This was not a comic. It was not anything comic book related in my book. So we'll see. I mean, it's just, again, these characters that Bill created have so much depth to them that you can take so many different avenues with them and create your own story around them and still keep that core element of the character. And that's what's so awesome. Like from Jack Nicholson to Caesar to Mark Hamill to, Heath and Joaquin. I mean, it's just, again, they all bring something super unique to the characters.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, and the story keeps on going. It's just amazing how Batman just keeps on chugging along. Even in the most recent book, Batman 127 just came out. And it's just Batman is sort of like reborn again. It's just the story just keeps on. Just no matter how much they throw at it, it's just keeps on going. I don't know if any of you had a chance to read the current books, but
it's great. Chip Zdarsky's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I think they're just dropping another season of Pennyworth, so it goes on and on and on.
Absolutely. Speaking of going on and on and on, my daughter needs to go to bed, so I have to.
Thank you so much, Lenny, for telling us about your show. I hope some more people come and see it. I wish I was able to.
You were too. Yeah, 3 states. No excuse. No kidding.
I'm not that far away. You're right. There probably is no excuse. I should try to sneak it into my my agenda. So, and thank you again, Athena, for coming on for the second time. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We appreciate
thank you for having me.
You're such a lovely person, and we appreciate you giving your time and give our love to Rick.
Yes.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming by, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having us.
And good luck with the creative endeavor, Lenny.
Thank you. I'll see you in a couple weeks, Athena.
Yes.
I'll be
and have fun on Batman Day, Saturday, Batman Day. You better be celebrating.
I'm absolutely
I'm going to find you.
Everyone. Go out,
Everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Take care, Lenny. Thanks again.
And you can find all the links for everybody up above or down below. We didn't rate Mad Love? Did you want to do it? We didn't.
Why don't you put that cover up against a pretty cover? I like the Paul Dini. Love Mad Love because I got a live Harley Quinn sitting right there in the bedroom behind me.
Well,
I love her so. But Leo, I mean, I think my rating is going to be pretty obvious. So why don't you give your rating?
Oh, it's. I absolutely love this. I'm going to give this 5s all around. It's very rare that you read a book and the source material. Well, I mean, this was the source material, but this being turned into the TV show. Having that so ingrained in your head that as you're reading, you're hearing those voices in your head. Other than other voices you may hear in your head.
But yeah, well, you're talking about Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, Tara Strong.
Yep, Commissioner. I can't remember Commissioner Gordon.
Who played Commissioner Gordon? We apologize to him.
Yeah, but I mean, just every single scene, you just hear their voices, and it's just, it was just it's a great story, great art. I love that it's the same art from the show. It's just amazing.
Absolutely. And for me, it's a 5 as well. And this scene, if you even go down to the bottom here, it's like she's finally she's got it through her head. She got thrown out the window and she got injured, and she's like, no more Joker, no more Joker. And then he sends her a rose, and that's it. He's got her back just like that. And listen,
Yeah.
that is a classic abusive relationship, and it was very highlighted when that came out. A lot of people aspire to that kind of relationship, and I do, but more of the White Knight version, where Joker is not abusive to Harley, and Harley is his partner.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be an insane clown partnership, not an abusive clown partnership. But yeah, 5s all the way. I mean, from the cartoon, I mean, this is exactly like the cartoon, fleshed out in paper form. And it's just beautiful. And it reminds you of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill and Tara Strong. And I can't stop saying it's incredible, because it is. It's amazing. I love this story. It's a great story, and you should definitely have it in your collection. If you've never read it, you have to.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I need to find this. This book I don't have in my collection, so it's. I know it's a bit pricey now, but for the Harley Quinn 30th anniversary, though, did you pick up any of the? Did her 30th anniversary book come out yet, or is that like?
Yeah. I'm not picking up any books anymore, Leo. I'm just doing digitals at the moment. It's too sad. When I had to gift her, I gave my collection away. I don't think I'm going to rebuild it again.
Yeah, that's tough to deal with.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah. We did have another book. I know we're a little bit late. Did we want to bring that up real quick?
Is anybody even still watching at this point, Leo? We've been on for 2 hours and 6 minutes.
No, we can wrap it. We can talk
let's
about
wrap
it next
it. There was a third
Okay.
one. And it was all right, but we'll talk about it another day.
Sounds good. So, Velvet, where do you like people interacting with you, my friend?
All right. So I've gotten on the TikTok. So we do a Velvet Joker 1 on the TikTok, and then you can find me at Velvet Joker 2021 on the gram, or Rich Davis on Facebook. These are the places that you can reach out to me, and we're happy to chat with you, or do whatever you need us to do if you want to pay us a little bit of money, because that's what we do. Broadcast, voiceover, you don't know. We could do stuff.
I know. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. More importantly, go follow Rich. It's I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got a ton of shows on our network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. So definitely check everything out. Head on over to thedorkening.com. You can find all the latest episodes for all the shows right there. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Peace out.